Welcome back. It's time for Your Journey, Your Questions. This is when we answer questions we've received recently during our online Journey to Retirement workshop. Here's a question we got. If I'm single and I don't have dependents, do the people I leave money to have to pay a higher tax rate? Susan N wanted to know that. Loren, what would you say to Susan?
I would say maybe, Susan.
Okay, great. Why don't you put fact and fiction up too then while you're at it?
And perhaps maybe Susan has been reading some recent Iowa state legislation.
Perhaps she has.
And maybe that spurred the question because I guess it depends on when you're going to pass away, Susan. Because if you pass away prior to the inheritance law changing in the state of Iowa, in fact, you don't leave money to your dependents, your kids, because you don't have dependents, but you leave it to your cousins, you leave it to your siblings, maybe even your parents. There could be an inheritance tax applied by the state of Iowa because you're not leaving it directly to your kids or grandkids. However, in the year 2026, the state of Iowa has said that inheritance law is going away. So if you pass away 2026 and beyond, while that law is not in existence, not on the books in the state of Iowa, then they wouldn't have to pay that inheritance tax. However, there's multiple types of taxes that your beneficiaries can pay. And right now we're just talking about inheritance tax, but they could pay income tax if you have IRA money that's never been taxed before. You leave it to your kids, you leave it to your cousins, you leave it to your parents. Whenever they take money out of that IRA that's never been taxed, they will have to pay taxes at their ordinary income tax bracket. So if you have somebody who's maybe at the end of their working career at the highest wages they've ever made before, and you leave them an IRA, they have to take it out within a 10-year period of time and apply that to their tax brackets in addition to their earned income, then maybe they pay more tax on that money than what you would pay while you're alive in retirement. So there's a lot that goes into this, Molly. I could tell by your face that there's a lot to follow and a lot of if-thens.
Well, and that's why you can't just say, yes, this applies to you. It's very situational, as with a lot of the aspects of retirement planning. And speaking of situational, I know, Chawn, a lot of the families that you guys sit down with, they want to leave a meaningful legacy to their kids and grandkids or nieces and nephews, but they also don't want that meaningful legacy to get eaten up by taxes. And that's when sometimes, if you start talking about this early in the planning process, you can do some things, make some changes to their legacy plan that can really get that money to those dependents in a more efficient way.
Yeah, the legacy plan is part of this overall process that we take people through. And yeah, for those of you that have those goals of you've saved well, you've got a big net worth, lots of retirement savings. And one of those goals is to take care of that next generation and leave a meaningful legacy to your children. Often you are worried about, well, how can you be the most tax efficient with those dollars and strategies. And one strategy that we talk about often is an IRA relocation strategy. So if you've saved really well, you've got a certain amount of guaranteed income. For some of you, it can make sense to take a certain amount of these IRA tax savings. It's going to want to be an amount that you feel comfortable that you're not going to need to get through your retirement journey. You can take these distributions, take a lump sum, and often now turn it into a life insurance strategy where maybe you took a lump sum. Let's just use $100,000. And if you're really trying to create that much more of a legacy, you can turn a lump sum like that into a much larger number. We talk about this as the IRA relocation strategy. So it's not going to be a good fit for everybody. You know, not everybody can comfortably sit here and say, I've got way more money than I need or ever want to spend. But there are strategies like this that can help people be more and more efficient and better position you to achieve all of your retirement goals.